Triple Crown here, Friday, May 3rd, 2024. I am in Dallas for the Dallas Card Show. Well, not quite. Actually, I am in Northern Kentucky for the Dallas Card Show in Northern Kentucky. Yes, sounds a bit perplexing, but the promoters of the Dallas Card Show have come about 1,000 miles north to the Northern Kentucky Convention Center to put on this 3-day show. While it's not nearly as large as the Dallas Card Show, there are a lot of dealers here that I don't normally see in the area, which is definitely cool. And the show is being widely promoted for its vast autograph signer lineup. And let me tell you, it's probably one of the most stacked lineups I've seen. There's some local heroes here with Jamar Chase and Ellie De La Cruz signing. Since the Orioles are in town, they've recruited Gunnar Henderson to their list of signers, a lot of Ohio State football legends, and also the man himself, Bo Jackson. It's impressive to say the least, but I'm mostly interested in the card portion of the show here today. And before I get a chance to set my stuff up, I go and walk around. This guy's got a few different things that I'm interested in. A lot of lions in his case, which automatically draws my attention. But I have a feeling I'm going to need to stock quite a bit of cards, because if Friday is as busy as I anticipate it being, I'll probably get wiped out. And because of that, I'm going to need to make sure that I have the reserves ready to go to maximize the opportunity. I'm paying a decent chunk of change to set up here, and I want to try to make as many sales as I can. So I have a stack of cards that I picked out of the value boxes. Now I'm kind of just checking out some things that he has in his case, kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together to see what I want to go ahead and buy. I'm not sure how much exactly I want to spend early on here, just because I want to make sure that it is a good sales show before I really get too deep into it. But I see a few cheap slabs that I know will definitely be a nice little thing to put in my showcase. And I'm going to try to work out a deal on those, as well as my stack here. As I look up prices, you'll see my phone kind of creep into the frame of the shot here. So let's go ahead and get into the actual deal taking place. Whenever you're ready, I got a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
Could do 90 if I took this stack here with the Lamar Blue Ice.
With that one?
Yeah.
Got 70, 100, 110 sticker. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Pretty quick agreement here. It was 110 sticker on the stack, and that was pretty fair. I didn't want to negotiate them down too much. Normally on a stack at 110, I might shoot my shot at 80, but most dealers probably aren't going to take that. They'll probably come back at 100, and then I'd have to counter to 90 anyways, and they might come back at 95. So I led with 90. I figured that that was probably pretty safe on some cards that were out of the value box. Context matters too, like who the players are, what types of cards they are, what time it is in the show. This is early on. The ability to read the room will definitely help in negotiations. And I get some cheaper football stuff that will help me fill in the holes in my case as the day goes on, because if the show goes as I hope, there will be some holes to fill in. All right, let's get over to the table, get it set up, and start selling some cards. Thank you.
Can you take a closer look at this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
1,000. 620 bucks. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Easy as always. Can we try cleaning this up?
I just got it in today, so. You don't want this? All right. There you see the tail end of the first deal of the day. It was for $15.80. This is a gentleman who buys for me quite a bit. You might recognize his voice from some previous videos. I had posted a card on social media earlier in the week that I was looking to sell, and we got to talking and kind of had a framework for what we were going to work out in terms of a bulk deal today at the show. He was looking at a few of the cards that I had just gotten in the mail that day as well. I told him that I would have some things that I was going to rush over to my P.O. box and pick up before the start of the show, just so that I had pretty much all hands on deck for a 3-day show to make sure that I was using my table space to the best of my ability. And now I have a gentleman who's looking at some of my higher end football, as well as baseball, as well as 2 McCaffrey rookies that I had just gotten in that day. And hopefully work out another big deal here and get me close to what my sales goal was for the weekend.
Where do you have to be on 1, 2, 3, 4? And I should grab that mantle out.
So we want Mantle, Julio.
Yeah, talk about value.
Trout. It's a fantasy camp relic, which is why it's not as.
Yeah.
And then Griffey. Okay.
Yeah. Still, that's a mighty nice card. You got a lot of value for Panini, I'll tell you that much. That card used to be $6 grand. Trout.
This Trout?
I bought one for 3 and I sold it for 12.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying hang on to it this long.
Dude, that was one of those where it was offered to me like a little bit below the last sale, and I'm like, yep, I'll take that.
Yeah. I just keep going down. You can't stay healthy. You just can't.
And he's gotten to the point now where like everybody just wants to hate on him and tear him down, which, I mean, all the guys before him, they do that to them. It's the same vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's good if you like his cards.
QB, 80 bucks there. Last one to 100.
Couldn't do that. I could do 90 on that one.
90. Okay. And then this one.
Look at this one.
Something I get asked about from time to time is when do you choose to break even or take a loss? And this is 2 cards here that tie into that. The Griffey encased out of 15. I bought that for $80. This guy's offering me 80. I have like 120 on it. And I tell him that I can do 90 on it. It's a card that I've been offered 80 on time and time again. I'm very confident I can get above that. And because people have been offering that over and over, I kind of pushed back a little at 90. He seems to be receptive to it. Meanwhile, the Julio is a card that has dipped quite a bit since I purchased it at the Xenia show. I showed the sales on it, and the last one had sold at 150. Well, now there's a sale as low as 87. And to me, a lot of that is overreaction to his slow start. Julio is not the most established player. He's still very young, but he's a guy I'm not really too worried about. He has all the talent in the world, and I have a feeling that he will heat up, and because of that, I'm not necessarily willing to wave the white flag on this one yet and take a loss on it. On top of that as well, it's a nice card. It's a finest blue refractor PSA 10. So a lot of it's going to come down to who the player is, what type of card it is, and do I think I can get a better offer down the road at some point in time, and how realistic is it that I'm going to get that offer. In this case, I'm fairly confident in the Julio, and I'm not going to take the loss on it quite yet.
Where do you have to be on this, do you think? It's kind of just see a cool card, ask about a cool card.
Yeah. What are you thinking? I mean, ideally, I want to be at my full sticker, but I know that's not necessarily realistic. So
no,
I mean,
I can't tell you it's not realistic.
Yeah.
So you get to like 150 bucks on the Griffey and the Suzuki.
I want to be able to do that for the pair. Suzuki, I can do like 80 on. Griffey, I can do 90 on, so 170.
160?
I'd have to be at 170.
Yeah. I would say after 5
Perhaps big league. Are there any comps whatsoever that might suggest?
On the Suzuki? No. At least not that I saw, but I think I got it a couple weeks ago, and I haven't looked at it since.
What's the condition on the alley like?
Okay,
It's probably like an 8. He's under them.
I'll let you keep doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not that right.
All right. Yeah, it's a little rough. Like you can kind of see like the edge has like a little, and then the corner's got a little bit on it. But I figured it was cool enough. I like the indies.
Yeah. Where would you have to be on that one?
Like 450 on that one.
450 on that one.
We make the deal for the Suzuki 101 I have in my case, as well as that Griffey that was mentioned earlier on. And then we kind of talk a little bit about the Jeter. He offers me 1,000 on it, and that's not a terrible offer. I'm thinking about it, but it's not quite exactly what I want for it. I tell him 11. He's tempted by it. He says he's going to think about it and come back, and he actually does end up coming back about 15-20 minutes later. We shake hands on 1,050. A little sad to see the Jeter go. I really did love that card, but that's part of the game when you're selling cards full time, is that sometimes things have to go. And that definitely is a huge boost in sales to move that. All right, while we're not exactly at the Dallas Card Show, there is still some Dallas Card Show level cards that are at this show. You can see here in this showcase in particular, there is the Brock Purdy Black Stars rookie from Prism. That's a 101. That's a pretty nice card. This guy also has a pretty solid Justin Fields collection in here. You see the CJ Stroud gold Kaboom, the old Mellow gold Prism Auto, the gold Josh Allen. I think that's a Wimbayama Mojo if I'm not mistaken. A lot of IP stuff done as well. He's got a really cool display of custom cards, a good variety of wax, just a overall fantastic table. And there were several tables like this at this show. This is definitely one that I wanted to highlight, show off some of the really cool stuff he had, especially the Purdy 101. It's kind of one of those things where you can see that kind of stuff online. Maybe someone posted on social media or something, but to see it in person is definitely cool. I stepped out to go wash my hands, and I came back and circled the show a little bit, found this awesome Griffey case that I wanted to show off as well. Tons of refractors, gold refractors, rare 90s inserts, and then some really nice high-end tobacco cards in the case adjacent to this one. And then a few high-end modern cards as well. Just really cool stuff. I don't usually have too much hockey because I can't, like...
I don't have a market for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do eBay and stuff, but...
Unless it's like Blue Jackets guys or some of the Midwest teams. Like I had some nice Avalanche stuff. Nobody asks about it. It's not like football or any.
I didn't know if you would do like in Xenia or something. Because I know you do Xenia quite often.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out if they don't sell here because they'll be there next weekend.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can see this edge 2 out of 10.
Yeah. This one's got a soft corner on the back.
It's not going to get graded.
Yeah.
That helps, I'm sure.
More than you know.
All right. I'll shoot you an offer and let me know, obviously. I was going to see if we could do 600. It's like 84%. I know the 80% days are over at most places anymore. That was just off your sticker. I didn't take anything off-wise. 630 something. Or 730 something.
Try to break this down.
No, you're good.
Here.
Do it. You're good.
In terms of selling at percentages, I don't really have a set percentage that I sell at. It's going to vary card to card. I'm a little more protective over some things, like, for example, downtowns, just because they're so in demand. And then players like Stroud and Chase, like you see in that deal there, I'm going to be a little bit tighter on my margins with those than I would be, say, the Edger and James, easy for me to say, autograph that you see on the right there, just because I'm not asked about it as much. A lot of it will also have to do with a card's popularity. If I keep getting offered the same price over and over and over again, then after a while it kind of tells me, like, okay, maybe I need to come down a little bit towards that price on it. And if it's something that's sat for a while, then yeah, the discount might be a little bit larger. Again, it's going to vary on a card-by-card basis. So no, I never have a set percentage. It's mostly just what I think would work for me on each individual card. It'll be at 620.
620. What's going on? Doing all right?
Yeah.
Forgot you were coming today. 620.
There's 8 people in here, man.
Howdy. Not setting up?
We're doing East Gate.
Okay.
620 is fine, by the way. I didn't see if there's anything else last second.
You bet. Sales continue to be extremely strong for this day, but I do want to highlight a few deals that don't end up happening. I have a few people who come up and try to buy some of my case hit cards at around 80%, even less at times, of my sticker. and I just can't do that. It's really difficult to replace those cards at those prices, and they're very in demand, whether it be flippers, repackers, collectors. Everybody seems to want them, and therefore the amount of discount that I can give on them is becoming smaller and smaller because it's difficult to keep them in stock.
Can you do 60 on Jones?
I can do 60, I could do 70.
65.
Be at 70.
No, let's go 70.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll pass. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I passed there.
All right.
Thank
no
you,
worries.
though. I appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll keep looking.
Okay.
Sure. Feel free to just wave me down. I'm kind of playing with both tables here for a moment.
Oh, this is all baseball?
Yep,
Okay, never mind. Is that all the football you have today?
it is. Last clip of the day one video here. This is a regular customer of mine who builds this nice little stack of football. We come to an agreement pretty quickly on $850 for the stack and shake hands on it. But I want to talk about a few different things. You hear the comment there that I don't have much football left. And yeah, football has been very difficult to keep in stock for quite some time now. It's probably pretty well documented in my vlog series at this point. I mean, I've been doing the vlogs for about 5 months, and you guys see how quickly a lot of the football goes. Very seldom do certain things make it past one show. Even the same show, if I buy it at that show and then stick it back out, a lot of times the cards are only in there for maybe even 30 minutes to an hour. There's just that much demand from flippers, repackers, collectors alike. But one of the things I want to focus on is the repackers here, because I don't think I sold to a single repacker that I know of, at least, throughout the entire show. That's because a lot of the ones that came up to me told me that they wanted to buy at 80 to 85%. And look, 80 to 85% is fine if it's of my sticker. Then I might consider 85%. But what they really want is 80 to 85% of the lowest sale that they can find. Give you an example. There was a Jackson Smith and Jigba RPA that I bought on Saturday morning. I put it back out, and this guy wanted to buy it at 80% of the last sale, which was around $80 when the previous 4 had sold right around 100. And he knew it, and he told me, well, I have to go based off of the last sale for my repack. And quite frankly, I don't necessarily believe that, because I've been watching quite a few repacks. I see the margins that are being made on these things, and I can kind of put 2 and 2 together, do a little reverse engineering to figure out what they're paying for a lot of the cards that they're getting in these repacks and what they're valuing them at, because they have to put their average, their floor, and their ceiling in them. And it's definitely not based off of the lowest sale. It's usually based off of the highest one. And I can't even source the cards for those prices, meaning that it's difficult to want to sell them at those prices. But overall, this was a fantastic show. This is my highest single day total. I did just over 5,000 at this show, which means it's going to be time to buy. And you're going to be seeing a lot of that here in the next part of this video, which will come out later in the week. So I'll see you then. Take care, stay safe, and as always, be kind.